Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now today I want to talk about a habit that have been negatively affecting me over the years. It is something that I have struggled with, I would say since childhood. And I want to bring it to the forefront, kind of to the limelight right now, because I don't think I'm the only person. I really don't think I'm I'm unique in this situation. In terms of this kind of issue or challenge that I'm going to talk about. All right, so let's get into it. Now, I've always been a people pleaser. It's a trait that on the surface seems positive. I'm helpful, I'm accommodating, and always willing to lend a helping hand. But the truth is, it's a double-edged sword. You see, more often than not, my eagerness to please has led me to say yes when I desperately wanted to say no. It's a struggle that I have wrestled with for years, and it has caused me nothing but resentment, nothing but stress and burnout at times. You see, I remember countless hours back in the day when I would, I would agree to take on extra tasks at work. Sometimes I would volunteer for projects I know I really didn't have the time for, or I would accept invitations I didn't really want to attend, But what would I do? I'd convince myself that, I was being helpful, that I was good, I was a good team player, or that I didn't want to disappoint anyone. Those are the things, those are the kind of self-talk I would be giving myself. But the reality was, I was sacrificing my own needs and well-being for the sake of others, right? You see, don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't want to help people, all right? I genuinely do. But I have learned the hard way, right? That constantly putting other people's needs before my own leads to resentment and exhaustion, right? I'm sure you may be able to identify with that. You see, I'd find myself feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and even angry at times. But what would I do? I'd keep saying yes anyway. And over time, it became a pattern, right? As kind of a self-destructive kind of habit, a cycle that I couldn't seem to break out of. You see, the problem I have realized is that I've always struggled with setting boundaries. I think that was the root of my problem. I have always been afraid of being seen as selfish, uncooperative, or just being a difficult person. I have worried that saying no would damage my relationship with with people or hurt other people's feelings. But I have come to understand that setting boundaries is not about being selfish, all right? It's about self-respect. It's about recognizing my own limits and prioritizing my own well-being. All right? And not only that, it's also about recognizing that saying yes to everything means saying no to myself. Right? I have realized that I cannot be everything to everyone. So, I stop overstretching myself, When I say yes to something I don't want to do, I am saying no to things I truly value, right? I spent time reflecting on why I have such a hard time saying no. I have sat and I thought about this. And a lot of it seems to stems from a deep-seated need for approval and validation over the years. I have always been afraid of disappointing people. That has always been something that I struggle with, of being seen, of being rejected by people or, feel abandoned. And this fear has driven me to to kind of overcome it at times and overextend myself, hoping to gain, people's approval. And it didn't work. You see, so what I've learned, that learning to say no has been a process of this self-discovery. It's required me to confront my fears, challenge my beliefs, and develop new coping mechanisms, if you know what I mean. After thinking about this, it's been uncomfortable at times, but it's also been incredibly liberating, if you know what I mean. I have started to, by practicing saying no in small low-stake situations. Like, for example, I've learned to say no to requests that I don't really have the time for, that don't align with my priorities, those kind of things, or that simply, I simply don't feel, it doesn't feel right, if you know what I mean. I have discovered that most people are understanding and respectful of boundaries when you actually decide to set boundaries. I have also learned to buy myself time. So what do I do? Instead of giving an immediate answer, I have started to, by saying things like, you know what, let me think about it, or I'll get back to you later, And what this does, it gives me time to kind of assess the request, and, to consider my options and perhaps make a decision that is, that was right for me, if you understand what I'm saying. And I've also discovered that saying no doesn't have to be confrontational. It doesn't. And it doesn't have to be rude. Saying no can be done with kindness and respect. I've learned to put phrases like, I appreciate you asking, but I am not able to commit to that right now. Something like that. Or something like this. I'd love to help, but I'm already overcommitted. All right? I've also found that offering alternatives, could be helpful. For example, I can't help you with that right now, but maybe I can connect you with someone who can, right? So those are good alternatives. I kind of came up with. I've also learned to prioritize my own needs, right? I have started, by setting aside time for myself, for activities that I enjoy, and for rest and relaxation, because we need that. I have recognized that taking care of myself is not selfish, it's essential, right? And some of the things that I've started to do is to be more assertive. I've learned to express my needs and preferences much more clearly and confidently. And another thing that I've done, I have stopped apologizing for setting boundaries, right? I have realized, that my time and energy are valuable and that I have the right to protect them, right? So, learning to say no for me has been a really transformative experience. It has allowed me to reclaim my time, my energy, and most of all, my sanity, It has helped me to build stronger, healthier relationships, right? And it has given me, a greater sense of control over my life, Because there are times when I thought, man, everybody is getting a little piece of me. So here are some of the suggestions. Here are some suggestions that I've found helpful, tongue twisted it. Number one, identify your triggers. Pay attention to the situations and people that make it difficult for you to say no. All right? That's one. Number 2, practice saying no in small steps, right? Start by saying no to minor requests and gradually work your way, to more challenging ones, right? Number 3, use assertive communication, right? So what do? Express your needs and your boundaries clearly and confidently, right? Don't beat around the bush, okay? Another thing you can do is buy yourself time. Don't feel pressured to give in to an immediate answer, right? Take your time to think about it and go from there, right? Another thing, prioritize your needs. Set aside time for yourself and for activities that you enjoy, okay? Remember this, that no is not no, I should say, is a complete sentence. You don't always have to provide an explanation, right? Here's another tip. Challenge your beliefs, right? Question the negative beliefs that make it difficult for you to say no, right? Another tip for you, seek support when necessary. Like talk to a friend, family member, or a therapist about your struggles, right? Learn to be okay with disappointing people. You can't please everyone all the time, right? And last tip I want to give you, celebrate your successes. Just acknowledge and reward yourself for setting boundaries. Because learning to say no, it's a skill that takes time and practice. But with patience and persistence, it's a skill that can be mastered, right? You can do it. And the rewards are, well, the rewards are worth the effort. All right, so I thought that, I'd share this bit of a struggle or habit that I've had with you over the years, and I just hope you got something from it. There was a takeaway from you, and that some of those little tips were helpful, and that there are things that you could probably implement in your life if you're going through this phase of your life as well. It is still something that I have struggled with, a bit somewhat, but I've gotten better over the years, by using some of those strategies. But, the tendency is always there, to want to please people before you please yourself. I mean, nothing is wrong with, putting others before self at times. But the problem, it becomes a big problem when you start having the resentment and, and all the regrets about your actions. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you like these kind of videos, I'll be sharing these kind of videos more frequently on the channel. Subscribe, all right? So until we meet again, until the next video, you take care of yourself, all right?